So the dross returns, and it's Arsenal 1, Palace 1 in a in a really indifferent performance. I mean, you gotta say Arsenal had a few injuries. Tierney wasn't there, Martinelli wasn't there, but we did see Thomas Partey get a little bit of a cameo coming back from his injury. But we didn't really have the fluidity that we generally have been having over the past several weeks, which has really led to why, for me, we didn't get the 3 points out of the game. And then on top of that, you got to say that Palace got their tactics right. Palace made sure that they sat deep. They didn't allow us to get any space. They went and made sure that every time a creative player, whether it being Saka or Smith Rowe, had the ball, that they were able to get on the ball as quick and as fast as possible. And to be able to press them, to be able to win the ball and try to hit us on the counter attack. So I got to give Palace their plaudits on that. Players from Palace there that you would have thought would have had a bigger impact on the game. Zaha didn't really have that much of an impact on the game. And I think that was probably because of us retaining possession so much, trying to create a lot of things. So he didn't really have that much to do, which I do commend the Arsenal side for. But we got to say, we do expect more from Arsenal. We've had a good run of form. We're still unbeaten, which is great. But the performance overall to kind of bring out the result just wasn't. In the first half, had a few couple of chances that, with better luck, a little bit of a better positioning, maybe we would have been able to challenge the goalkeeper a little bit more or potentially score a goal. But to be honest, if you had to sum up the performance as a whole, you got to say it's meh. Really, it's just a few sound effects. Meh. Yeah. It was dull. It was a dull performance. Not much there. We were really missing Kieran Tierney out of the side overall. And for me, we were missing Martinelli. We were missing that energy, that link-up play to allow Saka and Laka and Smith Rowe going. And then on the left-hand side, you didn't really have much. Yeah, we had Aubameyang there on the left. But for me, Aubameyang was more so just focused on trying to get a goal. He wasn't really sacrificing the positions to be able to allow Smith Rowe to be able to move around a lot more, which stifled him. And this is why you need to have Martinelli. So one of the things that I would say, and I know it's a debate that I was thinking throughout the game, is that when Gabriel Martinelli does come back, would you start him? For me, it's a must. I frequently do a match review after the game on 101 Arsenal, and I spoke about this with Tony and Ebony and Bertram on who would you then go and play. And for me, it's easy. I'm not playing Aubameyang starting in the first team. I don't care how much money he's on. I really don't. You want to play the players that are playing well for you and fit the model of play. The fact that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is on 250, 300 grand a week, irrelevant. Irrelevant. Couldn't care less. Pepe on 150 grand a week, don't care. Willian on the reported 200 grand a week, couldn't care less. The fact of the matter remains is this. We need to get back to winning ways. The best way that we've been able to do that is to have Tierney playing, to have Martinelli playing, with Laka up top, Smith Rowe behind, and Saka on the right. That's the way we go forward. Now, as things get going and as players start coming back from injuries, like Thomas Partey, yeah, you can put a Thomas Partey in there with a Granit Xhaka, who I do have to say was pretty good out of this game. I think Granit Xhaka put in a solid performance overall. I do have to say that he's been pretty consistent as of late, which is great for Granit Xhaka and great for the side. Not sure if I would have Granit involved long term. I mean, I still think that we can get somebody better, but right now Granit is performing well, and I do have to say I don't have a problem with Granit at the moment. So let's keep it going with Granit Xhaka in the midfield. for now. But defense-wise, I think we've got some good centre-backs. We got Mari, we got Holden, and congrats to Rob Holden on his new contract. We got Gabriel. I think David Luiz there is an asset, so it's good to see him there as well. So centre-backs, we don't have a problem. Probably need a backup left-back, but that's long-term going forward. But really and truly, we've really only got about maybe 7, 8 players who we can kind of call upon to say, you know what, definite, these are the guys that are our number one. Everybody else on the more so is up for sale for me. It really is. So what does this mean for Arsenal going forward? We got to pray and hope that all the players there that didn't play against Palace, the Tienis, the Martinellis, that they all come back healthy and bright. Doesn't look to be good news for Tierney, unfortunately. The story is that Tierney still needs to have a scan. We should probably start to hear something sometime today, which is the day after the Crystal Palace game. And hopefully, it's not too bad. It really isn't. But my guess is that we will see Martinelli. He'll be back. And hopefully Tierney will be back, but you just don't quite know. But I would say right now, let's get back to winning ways. Let's get all the players who've done well with us. Let's get back to fluid football, and let's get back to the Arsenal that we know. And then I think that against Newcastle, I would personally go for an Arsenal win. I really would, especially if one or both of those players, and Tierney or Martinelli, do come back. You got to say that it's looking like that could be the winning formula. But I'll leave it up to you guys. What do you think should be our starting 11 kind of going forward? I personally do think that it's got to be Martinelli on the left. It's got to be Laka up top. Emile Smith-Rowe just behind, and Saka on the right. Then in midfield, you got to have Thomas Partey. You got Granit Xhaka. For now, you got to have Bellerin. I think he's been good for us so far. And then I would personally go with Gabriel and Holden in that centre-back position. Kieran Tierney at left-back. And then Leno in goal. I don't know why I paused there, because that should be the obvious. But nevertheless, that's what I think should be our starting 11. And until we get to whereby that's the starting 11 that plays week in, week out, I think that we're going to continue to have results like what we did against Crystal Palace. But I do want to say Crystal Palace did follow their game plan. And their game plan was to make life difficult for us. And it did. It worked. So the next game against Newcastle, I think they'll be similar. But if we can get those players back, get that starting 11 that I just named, then I think Arsenal could get the win. But until then, please do leave your comments below on the starting 11 and your thoughts on that. And I will see you in my next video, which should be somewhere around here, the screen. Or take a look at the link below in the description on some of my thoughts in relation to some of the other things I've been talking about with Arsenal recently.